Welcome back, everyone, to IGN's News, Games, and More, where we talk about, you guessed it, news, games, and more. I'm your pal, Jeremy. I'm joined here by Destin Legary.
Hey, everybody.
Matt Kim.
Howdy.
I don't know if I'm pointing in the right directions, but I'm just trying to make this work. My favorite and only person that I know in the state of Maine, Seth Macy.
Hello.
And we got some big news for you guys today. I'm sorry, did you have something else you wanted to say before we get to the big news?
No.
We do have it. This is an hour show. We got plenty of time. We can put it off.
I'm really stoked. I'm really stoked to get to the news. Let's tell everybody.
All right, so dig this. You guys have already heard the E3 is canceled, right?
Yep.
Everybody heard this? We did a show about this. You guys watch the show every day, right? What you may not know is that IGN's been working on cooking up a replacement of sorts for ourselves, a digital event that talks about everything that's happening with publishers and developers, and we're announcing it today. So you may have also seen an official announcement about IGN Summer of Gaming. But don't let me butcher this announcement, because we actually have a press release that Destin is going to read to you here so you can get all the information. And then we're going to move on to some other stories about Xbox Series X and the MCU movies and a lot of other stuff today. It's going to be a great show today. But let's kick it over to Destin.
All right, I'll do my best not to butcher this. So, IGN to deliver global online Summer of Gaming event, safely bringing the global games community together. I'm really excited about this. As a producer, a lot of stuff has been going on behind the scenes. We're really, really excited about this. Here's what else the press release says. IGN, a world leader in games and entertainment media, has revealed its plans for a new global online Summer of Gaming event with regularly scheduled programming. With E3 2020 canceled, this new digital event will act as a focal point for potentially millions of viewers looking for all the latest news and impressions around games and the next generation of console hardware. Beginning in early June, IGN will kick off a season of live broadcasts and on-demand programming with editorial coverage that connects the global audience with game developers from around the world. IGN is working with partners including 2K, Square Enix, Sega, Bandai Namco, Amazon, Google, Twitter, Devolver Digital, THQ Nordic, and more. Look for more announcements on partners and details in the coming weeks.
THQ Nordic has enough games coming out that they could probably do an entire week of programming on.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah,
that one.
But those are some awesome names. Those are like a lot of the biggest ones. That's great.
Yeah.
There's one odd duck, which is Twitter.
Twitter?
Yeah, what's up? I'm curious about that one, but it's all right. It's sorry, continue.
Well, let me continue. IGN will deliver a content-rich experience through streamed publisher presentations featuring pre- and post-discussion and analysis shows, developer interviews from the safety of digital calls, hands-on demos and preview impressions, gameplay footage, and news segments featuring announcement recaps and commentary. Gamers from around the world will have the opportunity to participate, recreating the energy of a live event where the audience can send reaction videos from home and vote for their favorite games and announcements in polls. IGN's global coverage in 112 countries and 25 languages is committed to ensuring that fans can enjoy this incredible digital experience regardless of what device or platform they use. IGN's live programming can be accessed on any one of IGN's more than 20 platforms, including desktop, mobile, OTT, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Mixer, Twitch, Snapchat, Discover, TikTok, and more. OTT, by the way, is stuff like the Samsung TV behind me. You're going to be able to watch it there if you would prefer.
And Pluto.
Yep. And Pluto. Many, many, many things. Chat, what do you think about this? We're really excited to be announcing this today. I'd love to get your reactions. Let us know what you think in the comments.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually really excited about this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super stoked.
This is the coolest thing that we could possibly be doing with this. I know a lot of people are really kind of bummed that E3 is not happening this year. And we did actually a show that a lot of people watched a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about that. And there's so much energy and so much excitement about the announcements and just being around everybody and just being really focused on gaming for that week that we would otherwise be losing. And this kind of gives us a chance to at least like retain some of that energy and some of that excitement.
I think ever since the shelter-in-place orders have come out across the city and time was murdered, the concept of time is gone. It really hit hard how not having an event in June would really mean that there'd be like no major gaming news until October, September. And that's nuts. That's an eternity from now.
Yeah, what else were we gonna do in June? It would have been it's a short month, but it would have felt like it took forever.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's some quotes from internal staff. With the next generation of console gaming kicking off later this year and gamers eager to learn more about what games they'll be playing on their new hardware, our online event will be a key moment for publishers and developers to connect with the audience worldwide, said Per Schneider, Chief Content and Product Officer at IGN. The time is right to unite the gaming community for a global celebration of gaming. We're excited to put our editorial and video production teams and multi-platform reach to good use to connect, inform, entertain, and recreate the excitement and fun of summer gaming events virtually, safely, online. I'm really, really stoked about this. I'm really stoked. So this is going to be great.
Even if they were still doing a physical event, I don't know if I would want to go to that. So I like the idea of this being a virtual event.
Yeah,
for sure.
Watch it in your PJs.
Yeah.
I mean, before I started going to E3, that's how I always experienced E3 to begin with. So
that's how most people do, right? Like, there's a few of us that work in the industry get to go, but the majority of people just watch the big press conferences from home, and then they watch the reporting that comes out of that and participate in the conversation from there. But physically being there is not as important as having access to the information. And so in doing this, we're still at least like replicating that part of it.
Miyazaki the Great says, I just hope there is clear messaging so gamers can know where to watch. How clear is this? IGN.com, baby. That's where you can watch it.
I have a feeling that they won't let me cover this show in my pajamas, though.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, we can't see your legs, so
that's true.
You could be wearing sweatpants,
right?
Shh.
I'm wearing jeans, but
a lot of people are asking about the big three: Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. I don't know if we know anything about what's going on with them yet.
Stay tuned, I think. Right?
I mean, what can we say about conversations that we have had or are having, Matt? Like, you would know probably better than the rest of us would.
Stay tuned.
How's that for clear messaging?
There it is.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we'll be able to announce stuff when there's stuff to announce. But I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what they're going to do in this time, because everybody, up until this whole coronavirus thing happened, everybody had planned, to make some sort of announcement at this time. And for a lot of people, their entire financial year of projections is sort of based on maintaining a certain timeline. We've heard, the heads of Sony and Microsoft say that the consoles are coming out and they are going to be on time and they're not going to be delayed, like many times over.
Insisting.
So they're very insistent. And if that is true, then there has to be announcements on hardware. There has to be announcements on software. And that's what we have not seen yet. And so at some point within the course of this year, if they expect people who might be like a little bit strapped for cash to shell out for these big ticket items at the end of the year, there has to be a lot of incentive. And a lot of that incentive is going to be based on the games.
Right.
I can't talk about who we're partnering with, but I can read one more quote from Yale. More and more people are turning towards video games for entertainment and escapism. Last week, we saw new records for traffic across all of our platforms. We're excited to bring this global digital event to our audiences and partners, as this will be an event not to be missed. Yale's our executive vice president and general manager of IGN, by the way.
I'm really excited about this because now this means everybody is going to experience E3 I shouldn't say that. It's not E3, but everyone's going to experience this event. And
this is our event
that
Seth.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is but everyone's going to have that same like excitement and the level of access basically that we are, because we're just going to be bringing it to them from these remote, underground locations where we're all sequestered right now.
We're all in the same bunker together. Yeah.
Jay Christoph says, can see other industry leaders like maybe Schreier or Keeley, Fran Mirabella.
Wait, you get him.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to go to the next story, Jeremy? Do you want to talk about?
I just want to talk about a couple other things real quick before we move on. Is One of the things that you don't see behind the scenes is the amount of passion that exists in every corner of the staff, not just the people that appear on camera. And so, behind the scenes, ever since we heard about E3, there's been people, and certainly since we heard about, this whole work from home, shelter in place thing, there's been people working behind the scenes to figure out, how do we approach this from a tech perspective? Like, how do we provide something that the audience wants? How do we make sure that we have better cameras, better sound, better internet, better everything in order to actually pull something like this off? Not only just for ourselves, for our partners out there. And I'm just like really impressed by what everybody's done to kind of help make this a reality, because E3 is really special for me and for a lot of you guys watching, and I'm sure everybody else on this panel. And it does take a lot of work to do something like that from what Seth described as remote underground locations, which is basically where we're all shooting from right now.
1 mile beneath the Earth's crust.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that, or I'm glad that people are still excited for these big centralized events. It seemed like for a while that the trend was to move away from them, and for every publisher and developer to hold their own small little announcement stream at random times in the year. And so it's nice that we can do something that collates everything and hopefully have a big slate of announcements, all at once, or staggered over a week or two.
You guys, this is unrelated but really important. Jan Lee 360 in chat says the guy on the top right is really cute. That's you, Matt Kim.
Hey, nice.
Oh.
Done it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Look at that.
I don't know where I'm on the bottom right from what I'm seeing. So I thought he was talking about Jeremy.
No, I'm on the bottom. I'm on the bottom left.
See, it's all confusing. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Do you guys want to talk about this a little bit more, or do you want to move on to the next story, because it's kind of related?
Let's do the next story, only because we'll have more soon on this story.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot more detail on this coming up. But real quick, we're going to move on to the Xbox boss. Phil Spencer says Series X price is a critical factor. So we actually had a exclusive interview with him, with Ryan McCaffrey, and we got some really interesting information from that. Do you want to talk about some of the bullet points here, Dustin?
Yeah, sure. So these are notes from Ryan, and Ryan and I also spoke before the show. He says, Phil does this thing, which he always does, where he doesn't directly state big things, but if you know how to read between the lines, he does, of note. And granted, these are my interpretations. Ryan says he could be wrong, but I doubt it. It seems like they're not.
Ryan's never wrong.
This is Ryan McCaffrey's take. It seems like they're not going to be undercut by Sony price-wise. No more Nintendo ports like Ori, Cuphead, etc. They will launch Series X globally this fall, or not at all. They won't do a few territories. Yeah. And I think I'm actually just reading bullet points from the show now. Yeah. They'll talk about games earlier than they normally have. Now that they have a bunch of studios, xCloud will be used to stream games while you install them locally, so you can play instantly. Oh, that's a good fix.
Oh, so you buy a game and then you're playing it.
Yeah, imagine that. Do you remember? Do you remember when you would pop a game in your NES?
Remember those old days?
Or your old OG Xbox?
Yeah. Every time I get a new game, I always forget. I don't know how I always forget. It's probably because I'm very stupid. But I put the game in. I'm like, all right, here we go, baby. And then it's like, oh, that's gonna be an hour and a half.
Yeah. Did you guys see the recent rise in those holiday guides? They're like, hey, here's a life hack for you parents. Open up the new game console a day early in secret. Install all the updates, so when your kid opens them, they won't have to do that on Christmas.
Can you imagine your parents knowing how to do that?
Right. And I love how
my kids' 3DSs, 5 or 6 years ago, and we snuck in. We set them all up. We took pictures of the Christmas tree and put them back so they would have a fully charged, fully updated 3DS ready to play Pokemon.
Right, but that's like such a 2016 problem, right? 2016 onward problem. Like, you never had to do that with a GameCube or a PS2.
No.
My mom would be like, hey, so how do you install Xbox games? I'm like, and it would immediately know what's going on. Like, you
I
buy
remember
me an
when I was a kid,
Xbox.
we got our Nintendo, and we spent half of Christmas morning, like, while my dad tried to figure out how to hook it up, and finally just like gave up and let us kids take it over.
My mom, when I was younger, was such a, that Marge Simpson joke from The Simpsons of when Bart stole something. It's like, oh, I got you the game that all the kids are
Lee
talking
Carvello's
about.
putting challenge.
Right, exactly. Like, that was my mom every year, where she's like, oh, this is all the things that the kids are talking about, and instead of like the new Pokemon, it's like an off-brand Digimon game. It's like, this is it, and I'm just like, thanks, Mom. Love it.
It's a nice try.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about like my parents when I was a kid, but they would like somehow like very selectively curate games that they'd buy me for Christmas. Like they'd get me like Strider on Nintendo.
Yeah.
Or like or like Wizards and Warriors or something. And I'd be like, that's like a really like that's kind of a deep cut. How did you guys figure that out? And the game would be like bitching. I'd be like, that's crazy. I don't think you got a secret subscription to Nintendo Power or what? But installing a game, no way.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to some of the topics that were brought up in that rundown there. So, no more Nintendo ports. Which
that's a bummer.
Which I don't think of that really as a problem. What's your reaction to that, Seth?
Well, I mean, I think it's, like I said, it's a bummer for people who like to play those games on Nintendo. I like to play all games that I can possibly play. I like to play on Nintendo Switch or PC or probably the Xbox Series X. So not bringing them over, that's a bummer. Nintendo fans lose out. Guess you're gonna have to buy an Xbox Series X then.
Well, that's it, right? Like, how long are they gonna just be like, "Hey, play on our competitor's platform"?
Yeah, that's true.
Like eventually they got to bring it into the Xbox ecosystem, and they have xCloud where you're gonna be able to play on the go. They have the Xbox Series X where you're gonna be able to play, or any of the Xbox platforms for that matter, because it's not just the Series X where these games are gonna run, and of course on PC. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm just going to play on PC. I'm not going to get the console." That's fine. They don't care.
Windows.
It's still Windows. It's still the Xbox ecosystem, and they've done such a good job of building up that ecosystem over the last several years. And I think they're really poised next generation to get back an equal market with the PS5. I don't think it's going to happen initially. I think it's going to take time, but I think it's going to equalize. Definitely within the first few years of both consoles being available. What do you guys think?
As far as the Nintendo thing goes, like Nintendo players weren't going to see those games for like a year and a half or more after those games came out anyways. So they're like, I've got a Switch and I'm pretty used to being stiffed on any kind of third party games. I use it for, Nintendo games, and that's basically it. So that's not a big change. I don't know how much that's going to help or hurt them. I think that the main concern for Xbox is going to be it's so PC like, and it's so integrated with PC. At a certain point, if you factor in the cost of like the system plus the upgrades plus the peripherals plus all the other stuff that goes with it, like you're going to have to ask yourself, like, why don't I just get a PC?
Yeah,
I think so. So they're kind of like competing with themselves more than they're competing with Sony or Nintendo at that point.
I'll tell you why. Is this is somebody who's built several PCs, is looking at an awesome rig right now. When you turn on the PC that you built for that very first time, and it hesitates for a half a second, you lose a year of your life. I only do that so many times. Whereas, a console, you just plug it in. Hey, it works. It works great.
Right.
I mean, after it does 6 hours of updates, but
Well, I'm on a custom PC right now, and sometimes stuff will happen where I just like cannot explain it. Like, I don't know. And so now I'm going to spend like an hour like troubleshooting it. And that never really happens to me on like my Mac. It certainly doesn't happen to me on a Xbox.
I'm TDing the show today, and Windows must have pushed an update. And I was talking before the show how Discord has an update today. So all of a sudden my USB drivers are being weird, and you just got to figure out, like, every time a thing updates, it could be your NVIDIA card, it could be the Windows system, it could be like a specific device. It can have cascading effects across your whole system. So I definitely understand the appeal of having a go-to console or consoles where you can just play your games.
Yeah, my PC's so
feature.
fiddly.
Sorry, Matt,
I couldn't move it. No, it's all right. My PC's so fiddly that I literally can't move it from its space, or else it just doesn't work.
I think it's haunted then.
Yeah, I think there's a ghost in it. Spooky.
I think that xCloud feature is just such a smart way to not only get the word xCloud out there and what it's able to do, but also circumvent that problem that we've had for so long with downloading these games. I think that is going to be very important in the next generation of consoles. And I would love to hear if Sony has something similar. Yes, they have a faster SSD. Do they have solutions for games still having to install and everything? And yeah, that's something we haven't heard about yet from them.
Well, there's a couple of interesting comments I want to bring up. One, Jose Contreras says they need to stop flexing graphics and start flexing the actual games, which is something that you mentioned in the bullet points, Justin. They're going to talk about the games earlier than they normally have now that they have a bunch of studio. The second thing is, Real Frown says, I love hearing the goals with Xbox Smart Delivery feature that includes giving gamers improved or remastered versions of games to people that already own the current gen version, rather than trying to make gamers rebuy all of those games. Does Sony have a similar feature to that at all, or like that's one of the coolest features?
They did not. They will for the PS5. Hundreds of games was the quote, right, Matt? And then they actually came out and clarified it later. So what is Sony saying about their strategy in that respect?
Right. So far, one difference is Microsoft is promising backwards compatibility through multiple generations, so theoretically all the way back to the original Xbox.
That's right.
Sony has so far only confirmed backwards compat back to the PS4, and there was some small controversy when they mentioned that, because when Mark Cerny was doing his the PS5 tech showcase, he only mentioned that they were testing up to 100 games, and it made it sound like Sony not every PS4 game would be backwards compatible. And then they had to clarify that most PS4 games will be backwards compatible. So instead of just a limited 100 PS4 games, it could be the full library, save maybe, I don't know, 50 or so. I don't know. I just pulled that number out. But not every PS4 game will be backwards compatible, which is a bummer. But
I think this comment is less about the backwards compatibility and more about like the sort of up-resing feature that they've promised.
Oh, right, yeah. So PS5 will have a boost mode.
Just to be clear, what we're talking about is like you buy a copy of Cyberpunk, let's say, on your Xbox One, but then when you play that on your Xbox Series X, it just upscales it.
Right, that's the Xbox Series X version, rather than having to go out and buy.
So you don't have to buy two versions.
Right, or 8 versions in the case of Skyrim.
Yeah, and I was actually at the event where Phil started talking about this, and at the time, it just seemed like, well, how are they even going to do that? The fact that they were building this whole ecosystem, and he basically said, any game you buy on Xbox, you're going to be able to play on every version of the Xbox going forward. He said that when the Xbox One was out, not the S, not the X. It was very, very early on. And that was at an event in San Francisco, and it's been really neat. He talked on the Unlocked episode, which you guys can go check out right now on, IGN.com. And he talked about how he made that announcement and declaration and how they've been working on this for that long and getting things sort of back on track. So they just keep making the sales pitch better and better every time they seem to be announcing something for the X. And that's great. Sony, I would love to hear better and better things every time you guys talked about the PS5. That would be a big ask from me.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about the PS5.
Hey, I've got a kind of a weird question that I want to just like float by you guys.
Nah.
There's a lot of folks like talking about Switch in the comments, and I sort of wonder, like, let's talk about xCloud for a second. Like, xCloud can sort of like deliver the game over the internet wirelessly, basically, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what's really to stop Microsoft from releasing like a peripheral that's basically like a 4K screen with a controller built in that can just stream your game via xCloud to wherever you are? Like, why couldn't they just?
Oh, there's nothing. That's probably what they'll do, like mid generation to refresh it. They'll just be like, it's the Xbox box, and it's a little box that just
like,
it's called.
Dude, I gotta tell you, if I could stream, if that doesn't have a goddamn Xbox controller on it, Destin. Like if I had an Xbox controller
there, now it does.
To a 4K screen. Your phone ain't 4K. Come on, who are you phone?
It's got Retina display, baby.
Basically, if I had like a bootleg Microsoft Switch playing my Xbox Series X games, I'd buy that in a second. That's right.
I mean, I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Man, I hope so.
What garbage phone do you have, Jeremy, that you're worried about the
It's a Nokia Flip.
Yeah.
Is it a flip phone?
Yeah, man, there are phones out there with like 8K screens now.
I can't afford a flip phone. Those things are like $2,000 now.
Well, I mean, if you want a better mobile xCloud gaming setup, you could go buy a better phone, and they already have like the clip or whatever that attaches your Xbox controller onto a phone. Mm-hmm. So I think we're already there. Personally, I don't think they're going. I don't think they're going to do that. To answer your initial question, I think they're just going to say, "Hey, we're going to make this xCloud service available on as many platforms, mobile platforms, including Android and iPhone, as we possibly can. Maybe they'll expand from there, and that's where they're going to leave it."
Even the Switch can stream games that are more powerful for the system. In Japan, they've already launched like a pilot, so you could play Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Resident Evil 7 on your Switch through streaming.
J. Christoph 08 says, Spencer said that they want people to play everywhere and anywhere with who they want to play with.
Yes.
So,
Chat also said, Jeremy has a Nokia N-Gage. That's from it's a run mixer. Yeah,
pretty much. You're not wrong.
I do like the Xbox philosophy this time around for sure. It's a different studio.
I want to talk about real quick the price being the critical factor, and him saying that they don't, or Ryan sort of interpreting that he's saying that they're not going to be undercut. For me personally, that is the single most important factor. Like, what is it, 2013 when they announced the PS4 and the Xbox? I was watching, the live stream, and when they announced, what was it, $299 at launch or $399 at launch for the
Xbox or PS4?
Or for the PS4.
Yeah, $399.
Yeah, it was $399 at launch, and then Xbox was $499 at launch. That's when I was like, well, I went on Amazon and I pre-ordered a PS4. I was like, it's $100. I just want to connect.
I imagine Ryan and Phil like 6 months ago met, and they were just sort of talking, and he brought up the price, and Phil was like, we're not going to be undercut this time. We will destroy.
Jesus.
Very excited. Ryan's like, okay, Jesus.
All right.
But yeah, no, I mean the $499, $399 thing was like a huge blow to Xbox, and that was back when shows still did like who won E3 and stuff like that.
Right.
That was
we would never do that.
That's what it was, wasn't it?
What's up?
They were packing in the Connect and all that stuff at that time, weren't they?
Yeah.
No choice but to get the Connect.
They were trying to have it both ways. They were like, we're like a PlayStation and also like a Wii.
Yeah.
And it just didn't really work out.
Really bad.
We would never do that. Check out my series, IGN Versus, where we ask who won E3 2014 or whatever year that was.
Yeah, this price question is not going to go away until they give us a goddamn number.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a game of chicken. It's like the world's most boring game of chicken.
Yeah.
They're driving each other so slow. You're like, well, why don't you just turn already?
Right.
It's like,
You think there's like an OPEC between Microsoft and Sony, where they meet in like a secret, dimly lit room, and they're like, "What are you guys going for?" It's like, "What are you guys?"
The video game Illuminati.
Yeah,
like setting all the prices.
What do you got?
Oh, of course.
Definitely, that is exactly how it happens. There's a dress code requirement.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be in a undisclosed warehouse that they have to use a map to get to, and be blindfolded to get to, and then they have their very frank conversation over piles of money in the background. Sorry, maybe we should get to the next news story. My imagination's getting away from me.
We have so many news stories today that we haven't even touched upon. This one's actually huge because we have been speculating about this constantly, like almost every single day.
The Venom Goop story.
No.
Oh.
I mean, yes, but this one in particular is about Black Widow, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So we have confirmation that the MCU slate has been time shifted. Okay. So do you want to talk a little bit about what that means, or do you want me to take this?
Yeah. So the times have shifted for the releases of the movies. That's
right.
That's what's happening.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right.
that's it. Next story.
All right, so Black Widow is taking over Eternals November 6th slot, with setting off an even Marvel pick chain reaction, whereby Eternals moves to February 12th. Shang-Chi old date. Shang-Chi moves to May 7th, 2021. Doctor Strange 2's old date. Doctor Strange 2 moves to November 5th, 2021. Thor: Love and Thunder's old date. Thor: Love and Thunder moves to February 18th, 2020, which was a spot for the titled Marvel pick Black Panther 2 remains on May 8th, 2022. Captain Marvel 2 is now set for July 8th, 2022, which Disney has already RSVP'd for an untitled live action pick. That release date change ease with the Marvel movies comes from Disney having control over the key juggernaut dates on the calendar. Boom, that's it. It's that simple.
That was too fast.
That's a lot.
That was a lot.
Everything's further away.
Yeah.
They've already had some trouble like retaining some of the actors for the MCU at this point. We've talked about this before. When you start pushing Thor back to 2022 and it's 2020, you got to start to question, like, are some of these movies even going to happen at all? Like, I feel like we might lose one or two in the process of this.
Yeah.
Like, they can't all just like shift back like 6 months to a year and still stay on track, right? Do you think that at any point they'll just like kind of pull one out of the rotation? And if so,
yeah.
what?
Ooh. I'd say the ones that are later, like 2022.
Yeah.
That's a lot of things are going to happen. Like, imagine in 2018, if you try to predict this, like, it's impossible. So we have 2 years for those movies. There's a lot of really strange things that can happen between now and then. And I mean, even like a big movie like Black Panther 2 or Captain Marvel 2, like, those are going to be huge movies.
They cannot push Black Panther.
Well, I mean,
what if, because that was like $1 billion movie on it.
Sure, but what about like if next year people are like, I'm sick of superhero movies. This whole quarantine makes me want to watch.
I'm sick of them now.
Family friendly. I want to watch a movie where people hug and there's no superheroes. Like, what if the whole culture of cinema is changed, or at least summer blockbuster things? We get more. Maybe rom-coms are going to come back.
Man, by 2022, I think we're just going to be watching video game movies. Like, it's already starting to happen. Like, we're putting out, just okay ones. Then people are like, yay, like you can go with anything at this point. So just imagine, like, if we actually made really good ones. Like,
I mean, Uncharted got delayed, so.
Ooh.
Oh man, that movie was never going to happen. That's been in development hell for like 45 years.
I just really love this Black Widow B-roll I left on too long. Sorry, chat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was really excited for Black Widow. Hopefully the world's all better by November 6th and I can enjoy it with my wife, who was also very excited for that movie.
I was kind of hoping it was coming to Disney Plus, but
I agree. Like Disney Plus, or at least like release it digitally first. I've seen a lot of studios do that. And I
that
really
would cost them like $800 million, man. Are you crazy?
You think they would lose money if they released digitally at movie theater? They released digitally at movie theater prices. You think?
Yeah. Look, on this show, I said that they're probably going to just digitally and then put theaters later and just like take a wash.
Yeah.
But their willingness to just push their whole slate back like shows that they are absolutely not willing to do that. And the only reason I thought they would have kept it on track is for the merchandising, not for any other reason, but because they already you can already pre-order the toys. And they already got like all these like breakfast cereal tie-ins, presumably, and like shampoos and other crap. Like what's going to happen to all that stuff? I don't know. I guess they got to remarket it.
Yeah.
But a lot of these movies have marketing budgets that are like half of what the goddamn production budget is.
Right.
So that's like really where they're losing money. But when you think about the fact that a lot of movie theaters are charging $20 a ticket, for multiple people, like it just like the math isn't there for them to release it digitally. Like even if they're selling them for $20 and they evaporate after 48 hours, you're now inviting piracy in a big way, and you're also like you're just losing on the fees that theaters pay to have access to those pictures. You're losing the additional ticket sales for multiple people and like all the other stuff. So yeah, I mean what they're doing makes sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, but yeah, like piracy, especially the moment anything hits digital, like it's already going to be online for free.
Yeah. Or like an hour before.
Mm-hmm. So,
they got to be careful. They got to be
There's a
careful.
lot of comments. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. They got to be careful. They don't want to lose money. Speaking of, did you know you can get? Oh boy, I broke it. Did you know you can buy stuff on IGNstore.com? Go to store.ign.com right now
What?
and get your exclusive
nice
merch.
plug.
Use the discount code.
You can buy Marvel shirts there. You can buy Black Widow shirts, even though that movie
Don't-
isn't coming.
All Marvel shirts.
Don't worry about the
20%
Black
off.
Widow story. Don't worry about the Black Widow asset playing in the background.
Bearsfan811 says release New Mutants on Disney Plus at least.
Yeah.
That they should do. That movie is a mess. they've been like reshooting and pushing that back for like so long. I can't even remember when they started on this thing. All the actors were like 13 years old when they made it. And now they're all like, married with children and retiring and stuff. So, that one I think they could put out digital or like just, for rental, and it would be fine. They're almost dodging a bullet with that one.
I love how that movie, when it came out, was really like pushing the whole "we have Macy Williams" because this was at the peak of the Game of Thrones thing, and now that almost is like an afterthought because one, Game of Thrones like ended, and two, the final season tanked. So
yeah, I mean they have nothing to hang their marketing hat on.
Yeah. And they even got the Stranger Things guy. I feel like they got these actors when they were hot on cool shows. And if they released it when they could have, like it would have capitalized on both of them, but now it's too late.
Wait, which Stranger Things guy?
The
Johnny Stranger Things.
Yeah, the mopey guy, the guy who looks sad all the time.
The detective?
No, he's like one of the kids or one of the older kids.
I was gonna say the detective is in Black Widow.
Hopper, yeah.
No, he's in Black Widow. There's a sad boyfriend, I think, who's in New Mutants.
The sad boyfriend.
Yeah.
I
fell off Stranger Things after season 1.
You telling me Steve is in New Mutants? I gotta look this up right now.
No, not Steve. It's the photographer. He's Will's brother. Will's older brother.
Oh, nobody remembers him.
I remember him vividly,
He's sad all the time.
He doesn't have cool hair like Steve is the problem with that.
True.
That's very true.
Yeah.
You know what else got pushed back? You guys, we can't forget this. Indiana Jones 5 gets pushed back to July 2022. What's the over under on Harrison Ford still being alive then?
Oh my God.
Come on, man.
Jeremy.
They're gonna have to do like the Irishman like de-aging thing where it's like a young Indiana Jones face on like a decrepit old body.
You guys want to hear my absolutely bonkers idea I had in high school combining Indiana Jones and National Treasure?
I do now.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that.
Here it is. Indiana Jones 5, right? Indiana Jones 5 and the Fountain of Youth. Okay?
Okay.
Final climax. Him and some Russian or something are fighting right by the fountain, and Indiana Jones sacrifices himself by grabbing the communist / Nazi, and he throws them both into the fountain, right? And you see this cool shot of the bad guy like de-aging into nothingness, right? But Indiana Jones, and it seems like Indiana Jones is also going to die in the same way, but he gets
it's like a reverse of the
exactly
Last Crusade.
right? Yeah. So it's like, right? And then it seems like Indy's going to die in the same way, but no, he escapes, right? He like crawls out, and you get a camera shot of his back as he's like pulling himself out of the fountain, and then
this
the
is the
water's
most exciting thing I've ever heard.
The water's dripping, and he turns around, and who is it? It's Nicolas Cage. Back when Nicolas Cage was younger. I came up with this idea when they were both significantly younger.
That's amazing.
Yep. Indiana Jones 5 is suddenly National Treasure 3. Somehow.
I love it.
Or prequel. Anyways, that was my idea.
Matt, that's a great story. You know where you can.
Thank you.
It's Hollywood calling.
Matt, that's a great story. If there was a shirt for it, I bet you could get it on store.ign.com. The IGN store, shirts for what you're into. New Netflix Castlevania has 47 killer designs to choose from. Check it out today.
How many National Treasure shirts are on store.ign.com?
0, but I'll look into it.
I have a National Treasure shirt. I do have one. I'll wear it on the next show. I promise.
Oh, wow. Anyways, yeah. So that was my movie pitch. Hollywood, if you're listening.
Of course they're listening. Everybody wants.
Honestly, that's way better than what Indiana Jones 5 is. The actual movie.
Jeremy, maybe we should speed run the rest of the story. We got the story 3.
Well, the first two stories were really great.
They were.
This story is kind of bonkers. I hope somebody can explain this to me. But like,
This is all
what in
Seth.
the goddamn hell is up with this cooking mama thing on Switch?
Nobody
What
knows.
happened?
Nobody knows.
It came out, but then it didn't come out. But it's
Seth-
out right now.
Seth, explain this to me because I don't understand this at all. What happened?
There's a new Cooking Mama game, Cooking Mama
Okay.
Cookstar, and it's
Right.
either out or it's coming soon or it's completely missing in action. It all depends on which facet of the prism of reality you're glancing through at that exact. So there is an official Cooking Mama Twitter account, and the new game is supposedly available, and it shows off a new trailer, but it links to the Nintendo eShop, where if you go to buy the game on the Nintendo eShop, you get a 404 error page with Wario looking very disapprovingly at you for snooping around in his store. But
you can't buy it, or you
oh
can?
no, you could have bought it if
Okay.
you were in a time loop. It was available for like a little while in the US, so some people bought it and started playing it and enjoying all that Cooking Mama has to offer. The real Cooking Mama heads out there, but
Of which there are many.
they're actually that's a really great series.
Maybe less now that there's Overcooked. Like Cooking Mama is kind of like giving up a little ground now.
Hey, you watch it. Cooking Mama's the
Cooking Mama.
best.
Get that X factor.
She's a
get that.
star.
The other weird thing is nobody actually knows who developed Cooking Mama Cookstar. So the company Planet Entertainment is on the box, but there's actually no evidence of their involvement on the company's website, and there hasn't been any activity on its Twitter since last year.
Yep.
The company
is this some like Mandela effect type shit? Like, are like remembering something that like didn't happen?
Yeah, it's the Berenstain Cooking Mama Bears.
What the hell?
The other games by Planet Entertainment are pretty heavy hitters. You've got Bass Pro Shops The Strike Championship Edition, which I know you guys are all played.
Oh, I platinumed that one.
No, of course.
Cabela's The Hunt Championship Edition, or CE as we call it in the scene.
That's a bar
That's
game.
kinda it.
That game's good.
And they have then they have like a party game, like one of those shovelware Wii titles, but it's just for Switch. So apparently we've reached out to Planet Entertainment, which is a subsidiary of Planet Digital Partners, which is a subsidiary of Coke Media and Office Create. I don't know if they're actually subsidiaries, but they're all involved somehow, and we reached out to try to figure out.
Fire
We're gonna get to
Native
the bottom of
says
this.
Telltale is making it.
Telltale, yes.
Yeah,
I love
believe it.
Telltale games.
So
Dead
Joe
Walking.
Scrubbles, who wrote the story and is my boss and the news editor for the site, he actually Google mapped one of the studio's locations, and what
It's
he
in the
came,
Bermuda Triangle.
it was a literal haunted house. Like it was the most like desecrated, built like haunted looking house that you could just
You're
imagine.
making that up.
No, you
No.
don't even need a B-roll image of it. Just imagine like a movie haunted house, like a stereotypical one. That's literally what it looked like. And apparently that was the headquarters for one of the developers, supposedly. It's just game dev things, right?
Just normal haunted house game development. You can buy physical copies online from some retailers, but other retailers are coming soon. So I'm kind of curious if anybody, like any of the mama heads out there, order this if they actually end up getting it. It doesn't say there's any delay, but
I can contribute to this actually. So after the story went live, our news tip line blew up. Not blew up. I said blew up, but we got like 3 emails in our news tip line from people who said, my copy arrived in the mail yesterday. And then they like sent, like one person sent a picture of it.
Luis PJ says Cooking Mama PT.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
if you delete it, you can never get it back.
Speaking of spooky, we should talk about the Goop story that we're not allowed to show B-roll for, Jeremy.
I'm telling you guys, there are companies who they make their living by licensing viral clips, and then when you show them on your show, they go like, "Oh, it's gonna cost you, I don't know, a couple $1,000s." And you're like, based on what? They're like, do you want to pay it or do you want to strike on your channel? So,
ooh,
the real spookiness.
yeah.
I believe that's called extortion.
The licensors that extort is the name of that spooky story. So we're going to show some B-roll from the movie Venom instead.
It's the same thing anyway, so
Yeah.
Chat, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post it in all the chats so y'all can go see the clip that we're referencing live.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
Now that everyone's seen the alien symbiote.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, basically what happened is there is a viral tweet going around, a little video about what looks like part of the alien symbiote?
Yes.
Known as Venom.
Ooh.
It's in a black amorphous blob that reacts to being agitated with a knife on what appears to be a pebble beach. Best guess as to its true nature, it's some kind of sea worm, specifically a bootlace worm.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. That's an alien, and it needs to be killed with fire.
I mean, they're stabbing it with a knife, and it's not affecting it at all. So
I mean, I don't know. It kind of looks like just a mass of worms.
And that's
Yeah,
what
if you
people
wanna be
said it
boring.
was. It's worms.
Yeah, if you want to be boring about it, I guess, like me. But
it's a toxic worm.
I need to update
That's
my
kinda
Division 2 mod stat sheet. Make sure that I have min-max my characters perfectly. I don't have time for weird symbiote goop from Venom in the real world. I got important stuff to do.
Paris Swan Spider Mix says the only way to know for sure is to taste it.
Ooh.
Oh, God, no.
What do you guys think
Nice.
that tastes like?
What if it
poison.
tastes really good?
Literal poison. Bootlace worms are poisonous. Do not eat bootlace
Yeah, they're
worms,
actually like
please.
one of the most toxic like sea creatures on the coast of Britain.
To me, it looks like one of those weird, like early 2000s stealth marketing campaigns. Do you remember these where they'd always be like, "Oh, it's a real thing that we found." Like we found a dragon skull, from this dragon movie. Like, isn't that crazy? And which is funny because Venom looks like a movie from the early 2000s.
yeah,
Yeah,
So kind of like
it
adds
feels
up.
it basically is.
it was
I wouldn't be
very
surprised
good.
if they were like, it was just like a marketing thing for Venom too.
I kind of thought that's what this was gonna turn out to be because it doesn't look like it can exist. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like nature should have created something like that.
It is gross.
It is super gross.
Yeah.
But the ocean is filled with disgusting creatures.
Mm-hmm. What's that popular like alien hunter theory that like since planet Earth is 80% water, if a spaceship crash landed, the probability of it going into the ocean is much higher than it landing on land, and so all of our aliens are in the water.
I mean,
You guys ever hear that? It's like
No.
So do they deliver pot where you are? Or...
It's like something that I saw in like ancient
All the
aliens.
shops are closed in my
Look,
neighborhood.
it's a dumb-
You gotta
it's a
give me your
dumb-
number.
Look, hey, I'm in San Francisco. Where do you come on? Think about it.
We just turned into the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, speaking of
Hey, so like, what if aliens were underwater, man?
hey, I was on the show during 420, so clearly I didn't know Sketchmas.
You're the news guy. You're supposed to.
You're supposed to center us.
Yeah.
Queen Bee says, "Bet the blobfish is an alien."
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the blobfish?
Oh yeah, that gross thing.
Yeah,
When I'm the one doing the centering, we're all in a lot of trouble.
yeah, big time.
What about the Simpsons story?
this is the best story of the year as far as I'm concerned.
Oh man, Seth, you're like one of those people, huh?
What does that mean?
I'm on
Oh,
Seth.
no,
I'm
you're
with
like
Seth on this one.
A comedy
Yeah.
purist? Yes.
No, like people like Simpsons people. Simpsons.
Yeah, I'm a Simpsons.
They're
person.
like Monty Python people or like Friends people or like
Ooh,
Seinfeld
no, I
people.
mean I'll go with the Monty Python, but the Friends people, that hurts. I don't like that at all. Somewhere back there, I have the Simpsons library book that back before the internet. If you wanted to read about the episodes and synopsises and
What's
quotes,
the story, Seth? You know the
Oh,
story.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the
Hit
Simpsons.
us with it.
They're gonna fix the aspect ratio on Disney Plus. Right now, it's at 16:9. It's wide. It's horrible. It looks awful. It cuts out a lot of the visual gags. So they're gonna bring it back to the original 4:3. Updated version of The Simpsons running in its original 4:3 aspect ratio. It'll be available on Disney Plus streaming starting at the end of May, which is excruciatingly far away. But then again, so is Monday at this point. Like every day is.
Dude, you got like 50 years of Simpsons to watch. Like you can't just like
No. You're
come back
okay.
around
See,
to
because
it.
I'm a Simpsons guy, I only have 11 seasons of The Simpsons to watch.
For B-roll,
Those are the first.
I pulled an asset from the movie, which is in glorious 16:9. So take that, Simpsons fans. But
Nice.
it ruined a whole bunch of the jokes. Is basically why
Yes.
people were mad. There's a ton of jokes that were cropped out of the frame. So you watch the old episodes and you're like, I don't know what's going on. Like I don't understand. Clearly, that was a joke that was supposed to be delivered, but I don't see it.
Oh,
and that's
man.
because
Yeah,
literally it removes half of the frame.
I totally understand that as like when I was a teen, when I was a boy, I was a big time anime dork, like you wouldn't believe. And I hated it when they would like mess with the aspect ratios that you couldn't see the full picture.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The pan and
And that was like
scan.
a really common thing back in the time. Yeah,
Or
they'd,
dub
like,
them in English.
yeah, they'd like pan and scan like the theatrical releases to like fit your like stupid American television. Yeah, and it was like such like an offensive thing to see. And so I get it, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, how many jokes does this really spoil?
It's like the
It's
first
not
6,
just-
7 seasons, right, Seth?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, no, it's probably the first 13 or 14 before they switched over. Maybe even longer than that before they switched over
I'm gonna
to
break the
a
fourth
16
wall.
by 9 aspect ratio. But
Oh no!
not only does it ruin a lot of the jokes, but because this was animation drawn for, SD
Mhm.
television sets, it zooms in and it looks super, super bad because it has to be zoomed in on a lot of the scenes. So, I just want my Simpsons to be pure and natural and beautiful.
Comedian Tristan Cooper was like one of the first people to highlight the issues with the widescreen change, and he
Great
tweeted
Twitter
out,
follow, by the way.
yeah, and he tweeted out one famous example that you can read on the IGN story, which is having seen that episode. Like I watched it last night after writing up the news story for it. Like I watched it, and that joke is completely ruined. Not even like a you can live with it kind of way. Like there's a pause, there's a beat for the laughs, and it doesn't happen because the joke's gone.
And that joke is I'm assuming the Duff Brewery.
The Duff one, yeah, the Duff
joke.
Light, Duff, and Duff Dark, and they're all
Duff
the same.
Brow.
Duff, yeah, and it's all the same. It's coming from the same funnel. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it looks like season 18 is still 4x3.
Wow, that show's been on a whole long time.
So,
should it still be on?
No, I know someone who's watched literally every episode, and he said it has kind of come back around. He believes, in his opinion, it's not the same show. If you approach it now as a different show, according to him, not me. This is not me, but he says if you approach it now thinking of it as a different show than what it was, then it's actually a lot of the jokes land. It's more topical now. If you just approach it with the right attitude, it's just like anything in life. It's all about how you frame it. And frame it in 4x3.
I get it. I caught it.
See what I did there?
I really appreciated that. What else is
Surely
going on
someone in the
the
comments
gaming world?
is with me.
I was just reading the comments, and there's a few people that like keep bringing this up, but apparently there's Last of Us 2 footage that was leaked.
Yeah, it's all
people
pulled
have been
down.
talking about it for a few hours today. Yeah, it's like
Hey,
hard to find anything.
I'm not going to talk about that story because I don't want to know shit about Last of Us 2, and I don't want to ruin that for our audience. So no, we're not going to talk about it. And B, all the B-roll has been pulled down. So some jerk face released a bunch of footage who wasn't supposed to, and
like gameplay.
Now it's all pulled down. It's gameplay.
They were all like 1 minute clips. Like I was watching through some of them, and some of them were but some of them featured scenes that were playable in the media demo that we went to back in February, the one that Jonathan Dornbush went to, and some of it was new, so that's kind of exciting.
Are you allowed to talk about that?
No, I don't think so. But no, I didn't watch all of them. I only saw 2 clips. I don't know if there was more, but they were both like 45 seconds long. And
I could wait.
Yeah.
I want to wait. Like that.
Yeah.
We talked about that game on the show yesterday. Like that's a perfectionist studio, and I want to play the most pure version of the thing that they're working on. Like I don't want to see like a half-ass or like incomplete version of something that is gonna stick in my mind and spoil anything.
Weirdly enough, the clips all had Thai subtitles for some reason.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So
my wife could translate that for me.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, get on it, Justin.
They were all pulled down already, and I don't want to watch them anyway. Chat. Chat. Hypothetically. Okay, Last of Us 2 story. We're talking about it. There, you got it out of us. Let's say the whole game released right now, and you could watch the whole thing on YouTube, but you couldn't play it. Would you go watch those assets right now?
What a time saver.
Yeah, that's what I want to know from our chat.
Nice.
And that's why I'm not going to go watch these clips. You do what you want, but
I I want to ask you one thing real quick before we move on from the Simpsons story. But Twitter is mentioned several times in the article. Like a lot of these things kind of start as like a comedian makes a tweet, and then all of a sudden it becomes like this viral campaign, and now everybody's tweeting about it. It's something we see more and more. Like, how much has Twitter contributed to action or inaction on the part of media companies at this point? You guys ever think about that?
You know, that's a good point, Jeremy. Hey, we should talk about this Ant-Man 3 story trending on Twitter. So Ant-Man 3 just started trending. It's found its writer with Rick and Morty scribe. This is an exclusive on Hollywood Reporter. Jeff Loveless tweeted that. Matt, are you up to date on this one?
It broke right before I jumped on the show. So actually, no, I'm not up to date on this one. I don't know why I said yeah. But it sounds cool.
Which Rick and Morty writer is working on it?
It's pretty. Is it?
Is it Rick or is it Morty?
Where's it on the OS?
I saw a picture that wasn't of Justin Roiland, so.
Well, he's not writing it, that's for sure.
Like, so Rick and Morty. If you guys are familiar with Rick and Morty, like,
Jeff
so much
Loveless.
of that show is Justin Roiland just kind of like saying whatever pops into his head.
Just riffing.
It's like, yeah, he's just riffing, right? Like, I don't know how much writing actually makes it into that show.
Yeah.
Based on like what that like performance style is. So okay, you know, the Ant-Man movies are mostly fine, and I do like Rick and Morty a lot, but without Justin Roiland, I don't know that that's like as much of a headline as people are making it out to be. But that's Twitter news for you, people.
I'm on his Jeff Loveness's IMDb page. And he wrote the 2019 Rick and Morty episode, Claw and Hoarder Special Rick Tim's Morty. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that means anything. It's the fantasy one, I guess. Oh, it's their fantasy parody, the one with the dragon.
Oh, where they soul bond.
Yeah. Was that a good episode?
It was. Yeah. Not the best one, but it was good.
Well, he wrote that one, so.
Yeah.
You know.
Good adjustment.
All right.
Yeah. Good for that.
So if you go to the IGN merch store, I'm pretty sure that we have Ant-Man shirts on there. That
you don't even know the link, Jeremy. What the hell?
Marvel
Justin sends us an email every dang day about the store. Seth works on it. You don't.
I'm the one that processes all of the shirts.
I already had to mute Justin.
I have
like 3
I have
weeks
boxes
ago.
of them just sitting over there. I have to send them out every day. Justin sends me a Slack with a bunch of addresses.
You got one of those Fire Team Chat shirts back there?
Start printing us some Ant-Man, Rick and Morty mashup shirts, buddy.
Is that your packaging outfit? Is that what you wear when you package out the shirts?
Oh yeah, no, I just wear this all the time.
Is it formal Friday?
That's what I wear to bed. Yeah, it's formal Friday. No, I thought it'd be funny to just put on a suit.
Yeah, it was fun.
I mean, look at how much you guys are laughing right now.
We only have time for like maybe one more story. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to talk about Platinum Games? Do you want to talk about AMC?
I want to talk about store.ign.com. Store.ign.com has a great selection of t-shirts that you can wear, including all the latest fashions. Hey, did you know that right now you can actually get 20% off any Marvel purchase?
How much did Justin Davis pay you?
$50 ships free. Check it out, everybody. Store.ign.com.
Hashtag ad.
No, it's not an ad.
We don't have to do that.
We're just talking about it because we're psyched. Yeah.
Sure. I bought my first IGN store T-shirt recently. Actually, I waited like a whole month after everybody put in their orders, and I looked through the initial batch, and like I wasn't too impressed. Like not like I gotta go and get this shirt, but I finally bought a Splatoon shirt like 3 weeks ago.
Excellent.
Splatoon
I would be
shirt.
too much of a company man if I went on about our great selection of high quality merchandise T-shirts.
Jeremy, let's do a speed run. Seth, excellent read, by the way. I really appreciated that. I say we got like 30 seconds left. Why don't we just speed run them?
5th Platinum Games announcement coming in 2020. We've got 4, and 1 is probably fake. What do you think the 5th is going to be? You got 2 seconds to answer. Go ahead.
The
Bayonetta 3.5.
Yeah, Bayonetta.
I want it to be Beautiful Joe. Moving on. Darkest Dungeon player. That's messed up. That game's really hard and makes me sad, and it's super unfair. I can't wait for it to be that while also having somebody call me an idiot and probably a racial slur on the internet.
I'll play with you anytime,
players
Jeremy.
Are the Cenobites of gaming, and that's some next level masochism, buddy.
Wow.
Moving on, Rogue Legacy 2 was announced. It's the only truly good roguelike Metroidvania, am I right?
Oh yeah.
I didn't play the first one.
And lastly, AMC financial woes. That theater's gone out of business, everybody.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Biggest theater chain in America. No more movies. All going straight to Disney Plus.
What is going on that all these companies are like billion-dollar companies?
Did you see
they
that
can't get through 1 month?
The weekend box office for the end of March was, for the entire United States of America, was like $5,000.
Oh my god.
For the entire United, like for everything, it was 5,000. Like the Pat movie from SNL made more money than that, and it's lifetime.
Those are all drive-in theaters, and everybody's like, drive-in theaters, surgeons. We made like $2,000. Calm down. This is bad. Like movie theaters were already on the ropes. I love going to the movies.
I love going to the movies.
God damn. All right, let's finish with like a really good story. What's a happy story?
Deadpool's in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Our chat will love that one.
That's actually pretty cool. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Get him now.
Of all the characters to be in Fortnite, like that actually makes a lot of sense.
It does, yeah.
Like he has like the right tune for it. He has the right move set for it. Like he has the right look for it. Like everything about that sort of matches up. I think that's probably like that might be their best integration that they've done, honestly. Like what even comes close to that?
Yeah.
Not the NFL integration. That
you're right, Seth. I haven't played Fortnite in a while, but I might sign on and get Deadpool if it's pretty easy to get. It looks like it's a battle pass thing, so you can just get it like instantly. The Batman integration was really good. I like the Batman one.
Yeah, but like Batman doesn't like feel like tonally consistent with Fortnite the way that Deadpool was.
Is Deadpool and Fortnite being voiced by Nolan North again? Because that'd be cool.
I don't think he really says anything.
No,
he emotes.
Maybe in the trailer. Yeah. It's like a skin. Okay. We're over on time, Jeremy. We got to go. That's the show for the day.
Goodbye.
All right. So I'd like to close by saying Deadpool and Smash, please.
Check out our selection of Deadpool shirts in the IGN store.
Oh,
Do we have any?
Yeah, we've got a bunch.
Oh, all right then. Cool.
Also, I just want to reiterate before we close out that the Summer of Gaming event that we have planned is going to be really exciting, and we're very, very, very pumped for this. And we hope that you guys are too. I want to thank everybody for sticking with us all week long and really all month, just because this has been such a weird time where we're all doing the show from home. This is the first time we've had Seth on. That's been awesome. Thank you so much, Seth.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks to everybody watching, especially the people that are on here like every day, like J Christoph 08 and like Forchi. We're starting to see like a few people that are showing up a lot and like really participating in the conversation, which is really cool
awesome
to see. So, thanks to everybody for that. And anybody else have anything they want to say before we close out for the weekend?
I guess just, thank you, everybody. It's been great. And over at store.ign.com, we do have an excellent selection of Deadpool shirts.
Switching this,
Look at them all
right
here.
right now.
All right.
Leaving.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.